Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, welcome back to our online learning session. Last class we stopped till the epithelial tissues in the animal tissue section, and inshallah we will cover the rest of the section in this class. So in this class, muscular tissue is the second section in the animal tissues, under the animal tissues. So muscular tissue is nothing but we have muscles, right? So these tissues, they consist of long narrow cells. Those cells are like narrow and long, and they are what is called as muscle fibers. So muscle fibers are the muscle cells basically. So they are named because of their long fiber like shape. Okay, they look like fiber like shape, so that's why they are named as muscle fibers, and they bring about movement of body parts and locomotion. Locomotion is movement in organisms. That is, we have muscles in our body, we use that for body parts movements and also for moving from one place to another place. So there are types of muscular tissue. So in human beings there are three types of muscles. One is striated muscles, unstriated muscles, and cardiac muscles. So you have to remember these are the three types under the muscle tissue, that is a striated muscle, unstriated muscle, and cardiac muscle. Now we will see one by one. So here they have given their type and the nature of the muscle and example where they are located, and also finally their function. So striated or striped, basically the name came from, it's like they look striped, like lines, line on the cells, muscles. So their contraction under one's control, so they are so called voluntary muscles. So basically their type is we have the control over the muscles. For example, in our hand we have some muscles and we have control over it, we can move it. So that's why they are like voluntary muscles. So the nature of the muscle is that they are multinucleated cells. Cells will have more than one nucleus. Okay, that's the multinucleated cells, and they show bundles of light and dark bands striped, that is like this. Here you can see the dark bands and the light bands. So that's why they are called as striated cells, striated muscles. So here this is the structure. You have nucleus here, you have the muscle cell here, cell membrane, cytoplasm, everything is present. So for example, muscles of arms, as I told, the hands, arms, and legs, face, and neck, all those you can move it, right? It's like voluntary. You are able to. It's under your control, under our control, and the function is that they cause movements that are under the control of our will, as I told. Okay, we have the control, and the next one is unstriped or unstriated. They are also called as smooth muscles as they lack transverse striation, as they lack this striation, that is stripes. So they are called as smooth muscles. Movement not under our will, so it's not under our will. So they are called as involuntary muscles. For example, there are some muscles inside our human, stomach. Inside the stomach, there are some muscles, and there are some muscles inside in our alimentary canal, that is food canal. So we don't have control over it, right? If you want to like move it, and we cannot do that. So it just they function spontaneously whenever they have some need. So this is the slender tapering cells they have given. So this is how they are situated, their shape and size. Okay, and their example is their wall of blood vessels. You have blood vessels, and the bloods are like circulated throughout the body. Okay, so the muscles help in movement of the blood, and also urinary bladder and uterus. Okay, so muscles of alimentary canal contract to push that show peristalsis. Peristalsis is nothing but the food is pushed down inside our body. So when we just gulp the food, when we eat the food, we just eat it, and inside the food is like moved further inside by the muscles. We don't move ourselves. You understand? We don't do voluntary actions, but they are involuntary actions that happen inside our body. So function or that movement of the parts or contents of part not under control of our will. As I told, like in our abdomen, in our stomach, or in our other places like urinary bladder, all these things. The next is cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles are basically only for the heart muscles. So it is exclusively present in the heart. They contract and relax. Contract is they become like shrinking and relax so that they pump the blood rhythmically. Rhythmically is they have a proper rhythm. Okay, not like randomly, but even if you keep your hand near your chest, you can hear the rhythm of the heart. Okay, and tirelessly they contract and relax endlessly. Okay, from the embryonic stage till death. When the embryo is formed, when the baby fetus is inside, till that stage. Okay, and till we die. So they tirelessly they contract and relax. So what is their nature? That is striped, seen on muscle fiber. They are short and branched. Okay, they are branched and joined by intercalated disc. Intercalated is nothing but you have layered like this, and one tissue is like bound with another one, like intercalation inside it, so that they are arranged in layers. Okay, so that is the meaning of intercalation. They are heart muscles basically. That's the example location, and the function is as I told, it is contract and relax on their own. When the heartbeat happens in our body, we don't do it. Okay, it's like we can stop it or we can resume it. It happens without our own will. So that is the function. And the next one is connective tissue. So connective tissue is nothing but as the name suggests, they connects the organs. Okay, they have some matrix, that is some space like, and the connective tissue cells and connective tissue fibers. So the connective tissue has matrix, that is the non-cellular regions. Okay, matrix is basically extracellular regions, that is outside the cells, and you have tissue cells and they have connective tissue fibers. These are the three main parts, and there are some examples. For example, areolar tissue, adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is basically uh, under our skin. Okay, if they are found under our skin, they'll have fat. The energy is stored in the form of fat, and we have cartilage. Cartilage is just they are present at the end of the bones. Okay, like in our knee or any places, rib. At the end of them, the cartilage is found. They are like little softer than bones, but they have rigid structure. Okay, and you have bone and blood. These are the examples. If you want to see what is areolar tissue, I'll show you here. So these are the like areolar tissue. So basically they are like fibers. You can see the tissue here. They are connective tissue. They are found in the organs. For example, if you have heart or kidney or any organs, this areolar tissue, they help in binding those organs into the body. We are running or we move, but our organs are inside our body placed properly because this areolar tissue, they are connective. They make the organs just firm in their places. Okay, the functions of the connective tissue is that it binds different structures with one another. Okay, that they bind different structures with each other. That is, tendons bind bone to a muscle. Tendons is nothing but we have muscles right inside our body, and we have bones. So these two have to be connected. Muscles and bones have to be muscles and bone have to be connected. So the thing that binds the bone to a muscle, it is what is called as tendons, and ligaments connects bones. Ligaments is nothing but you have two bones, right? For example, if you take leg and you have thigh bone, and they both are connected. So that thing that connects, it is what is called as ligament tissue. They forms a supporting framework. They give support to our body, like cartilage and bones in the body. Like bones give support in our body. And the adipose connective tissue helps in storage of fats, as I told above. That adipose tissue, they are basically found under our skin. Okay, deposited fat contents that they storage of fats. It also forms shock proof, that is when we walk or when we fall down, we are so that we don't get injured, they give shock proof cushions around kidneys, ovaries and eyeballs. Okay, blood is also a connective tissue. We have blood, right, in our body. That's also a liquid connective tissue. So there are types of connective tissues. We have fibrous tissue. This is the matrix extracellular. We have cell here. This is the tissue, whole tissue, cell, and you have matrix, that is extracellular region, and you have fibers and you have nucleus. So the nature of the tissue is that they are separated from one another by intracellular spaces. Okay, you have uh, one cell to another cell. Between them there are some spaces. So that is what is called as intracellular spaces. These spaces are filled with filled with solid or liquid material. Okay. Example or location is that tendon, ligament, and adipose tissue, as we saw earlier. Tendon, ligament, and adipose tissue. Function is that they connect muscle to bone, as I told, and also connect two bones. That is a function of ligament. And packaging and binding of most organs and store fat is the adipose tissue's function. Cartilage, they are found, as I told, you have their function. The nature of the tissue is that they are thick, semi-transparent and elastic. I'll show you what is cartilage so that you don't get confused. So here is the cartilage. I told, right, it is found at the end of the bones. Here is the cartilage. Okay. So they are found in nose, ears, walls of windpipe. We have windpipe, right, for breathing, and they are found on the walls of windpipe and at also the end of the long bones, as I told here. And they provide support and strength. And then we have bone. So this is the bone. They have concentric rings inside the bone. This is the bone cell. Okay. Their nature is that they are hard and porous. They are hard. We know that bones are hard. Porous is like they'll have small pores, like holes little, and they consist of both living cells. They have both living cells and also rigid mass of non-living cells also. So the location is the ribs, thigh bone, backbone, etc. We have many bones, right, in our body. And the function is that they provide support and strength. They help in movement. Bones we have, right, in our arms and legs, they help in the movement of the body. Then there is fluid connective tissue, as we saw earlier that blood is a fluid connective tissue. They contain both cellular and fluid parts. Okay, and blood and lymph. We know about blood. What is lymph? Lymph is like a white color liquid. Okay, it contains white blood cells. White blood cells. They help in fighting against the disease-causing germs in our body. Okay. So as they have stated, the function is that transport of gases and chemical substances to body, that is the function of blood, and the protection from disease-causing germs, that is the function of lymph fluid. Lymph fluid is found in lymphoid organs. Lymphoid organs are basically they secrete. They'll have lymph nodes and they secrete lymph fluids. Then the next is that nervous tissue. We have nerves in our body. So the nervous tissue consists of nerve cells or neurons. Nerve cell is otherwise called as neurons. You have to remember this. A bundle of nerve fibers or axons of nerve cells forms nerves. Okay. So they are saying we have the nerve fibers and you have axons. Here inside you see this, right? This is what is called as axons. That is what is called nerve fibers. And they bundle of these nerve cells. Okay, they form nerves. A nerve cell or neuron, as I told, nerve cell is also called as neuron, is a structural and functional unit of the nervous system. In our body we have nervous system, and this is the main structure. This nerve cell is the fundamental unit. Okay, a typical nerve cell consists of the following parts. There are three main parts for this typical neuron. First is the cell body or cyton. So here you see this part. This is what is called as a cyton, that is cell body, and you have dendrons and dendrites. So this you see here like small branch, like this is what called as dendrites, and you have finally axon. This is the axon here, as I told here. Here you see this, right? In between, this is the axon. This is the medullary sheath that covers this axon, and there is like a, we will see about this inshallah. So cell body or cyton is a prominent, has a prominent nucleus. It has a distinct nucleus in it, and cytoplasm also is present. Cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi bodies are also present in the cytoplasm. We saw earlier about the cytoplasm, Golgi bodies, mitochondria, everything. Okay, so they are present in the cytoplasm. So several thread-like extensions called as dendrons, as I told, it's like brands like thread-like extensions. They are called as dendrons. They arise from the cell body, and one of them is long and called as axon. One of these, here you can see they are long. It is long. It is what is called as axon. And axon may be or may not be covered by myelin sheath or medullary sheath. It could be either covered with this medullary sheath outside or may not be covered. And this sheath is constructed at intervals. They will have intervals. Okay, here you can see there are regular intervals here, and this is this in the regular intervals there is a node. This is what is called as node of Ranvier, name of that. Okay, the space between axon endings of one cell. This is the axon ending. Okay, and the cell body or cyton of another nerve cell is the synapse. I'll show you so that you understand better. Yeah. So you see here, this is one nerve cell. There is another nerve cell here. So ending of the axon and the body of the another nerve cell. Here there is a space, little space. That is what is called a synapse. Then there is a nerve function or signal. They are passed through that synapse. Okay. Then the next topic is stem cell technology. Stem cell technology we'll see briefly in this lesson. That is, they are undifferentiated cells in our body. That before we have different types of cells, right? We have skin cells, we have bone cells, all these cells. All these cells, they will be formed from a one single type of cell, okay, before differentiation. Okay, it will be there. They differentiate by mitosis. We saw mitosis right earlier, and they differentiate into different types of cells. That is, one type of cell is there, that they are what is called as stem cells. They have the ability to differentiate into different types of cells. So these cells, they they undergo mitosis, that is division, and they differentiate into different specialized cell types. That is, they differentiate into muscle cells, they differentiate into bone cells, nerve cells, like that. Okay, so though before they get undifferentiated, okay, they get differentiated, those cells are what is called as stem cells. You have to remember this. Okay, uh, and the stem cells may be obtained from an embryo. Embryo is the early stage of the fetus in the baby development you have inside the mother's womb. The early development, the fetus, it is what is called as embryo, and this umbilical cord. Umbilical cord is the cord that joins the fetus with the mother. Okay, and then you have bone marrow in adults. Bone marrow is nothing but inside our some of our bones, like our rib bones and all those. Inside that there will be tissue. Okay, that is what is called as bone marrow. So in these places we can get stem cells. So medical research shows that stem cell therapy can replace tissues damaged due to human disease. There are, due to some disease, tissues are damaged. Okay, and by taking the stem cells from the body, we can do some research and cure those, replace those tissues. Okay, and there are many stem cell therapies exist. Therapies is basically a cure or method to cure some disease, such as bone marrow transplant to treat blood cancer. If a person has blood cancer, so they will take out the bone marrow in his bone, okay, and they will replace it with new bone marrow, so that they treat the blood cancer. The cancer cells will be removed and it will be replaced with new bone marrow. Okay, And there are some uses of the stem cells. They replace damaged tissues. To replace damaged tissues, we use stem cells. And to study human development, like how different cells are formed from the stem cells. Okay, that is to study human development. To test new drugs, we have some disease, and to test that new drugs, we can use stem cells and apply these drugs and test them. And to devise methods of gene therapy. Gene therapy is nothing but we take the genes, DNA, isolate the DNA, and we do research and find out some new therapy for diseases where there are no cure, or we want to better the cure. Okay, so these are the four main potential uses of stem cells. Alhamdulillah, we have completed this lesson. As for every lesson, I'm telling you that you have to write the in-text questions answers, and once you write yourself, and finally check the answers at the end of the lessons. And also terminal exercises, you have to mark down the answers, and also mark down the answer. If it's not found in the book, that is, you have to think and write, then you have to write it in this notes section here. That is for terminal. And as usual, I tell you that you have to write in your notebook what you have learned this section, okay, and send it to me, inshallah. Only few of you have sent, I think 3 to 4 people. I think Rahid Ali, uh, I don't remember the names. Okay, some 4 people have sent me, 3 or 4 people. Rest of all of you have to send. Please send, don't fail to send. Please listen multiple times. If you don't understand anything, just search like this on Google, so that you'll get the diagram, so that you'll understand better. And also you can message me, inshallah. I will try to explain you better, okay, if you have any doubts. Barakallahu feekum. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.